Hi, everyone, and welcome to our Bestmed Wellness Program podcast. Today, we've got the pleasure of having Dr. Bianca Marie with us. She's a fitfluencer, a chiropractor, believe it or not, and a fitness model. She's also one of the top 6 competitors for the Face of Fitness 2021, and also a Biogen ambassador. Welcome, Dr. Bianca. And let's share. Can you share with us just your fitness journey and where it all began?
Yes, well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I feel very privileged to, share my story and my knowledge. I like to inspire and educate individuals. So I'm very honored. So thank you for having me here today. So of course, where did my fitness journey start? It all started when I was a dancer. I danced from the age of 6 years old, ballet, modern, contemporary. That's where I found my passion for the body, moving my muscles. That's where I developed injuries, and that kind of sparked my knowledge on how injuries work, how to recover from injuries. And through growing up, I introduced ballroom and Latin dancing into the mix, and then weight training. And at one point, I was doing all of that together. And I think because of the background of always using my body, I developed a passion for muscles, for how the body works. And of course, then when deciding what I want to do with my life, I knew it had to relate to something with the body. And because I got many injuries, I ended up seeing a chiropractor who helped me with my injuries. And that is then how I got exposed to the profession. And that is then what led me to follow a career in chiropractic. And of course, using my love and passion for fitness and integrating the two to inspire and educate people.
Okay, excellent. Now, you mentioned that you started with the weight training.
Yes.
And the dancing, and at a stage it was simultaneous.
Yes.
The weight training, obviously, at what age did that start?
It's probably started when I went through a breakup in grade 11.
Okay.
I kind of needed an outlet. So from grade 11, I started introducing the weight training.
Yeah, which obviously is one of the best motivators.
Yeah.
Breakup.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, having a comeback body. But of course, the dancing made me feel very flexible, and the weight training made me feel very stiff. So I had to manage the balance between the two, because obviously the one was impacting the other one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no, excellent. I did a bit of read up on you, and I see there that you're struggling also with scoliosis at a stage. Now, how did the scoliosis diagnosis and the dancing injuries influence your passion for fitness and the chiropractic care and all of that, basically?
Yes. So when I was dancing, there were certain moves that I did that I felt a lot of pain and discomfort in my back, but I wasn't too sure, of course, at the time what was going on. And through that, my mom at the time was seeing a chiropractor for her headaches, and I went along, and he was the one who diagnosed me with scoliosis. Now, a lot of people think I've got scoliosis, something's wrong with me, a brace and things like that. That's not always the case. But actually, being fit and exercising is a way to help scoliosis and prevent the condition getting worse. So the more I danced, the more I exercised, the better my pain felt. And so I started to realize, well, movement is medicine. And through my dancing and working through certain movements and strengthening certain muscles, I realized that actually helped my pain and my scoliosis, and it actually prevented my curve from getting worse. And then, of course, that led to me then feeling more connected with the chiropractic profession, because I myself went to a chiro who helped me through my scoliotic phase.
The curvature.
Yes.
I think a lot of people fall into that trap of they get diagnosed with scoliosis, or they've got slight scoliosis or severe, and they think, hey, I'm not disabled, I've got some sort of a disease.
Exactly.
I can't do any training. And I think a lot of people use it as an excuse
Absolutely.
at the end of the day. So
Absolutely. And so I think this is where education is key. And to say just because you're diagnosed with a certain condition doesn't necessarily mean that you can't exercise, because sometimes exercise is the best medication for your pain.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. What does fitness mean to you today, and beyond now the physical appearance sort of thing? How would you sort of summarize fitness and your mindset?
Yes, well, this one is definitely a question that I think has changed as I've grown up in different phases of my life. Before, fitness was very just much physical, how I looked, how I appeared. It transitioned to, it's more than just the appearance, it's what you feel in your body. Now I'm going through a phase where fitness for me is a balance between mind, body, and spirit. So it's a whole holistic view on how you move, how you eat, and how you're talking to yourself. So I have definitely transitioned from solely it being physical to now it being more of what is my mental health? What am I feeling my body, and how is my training regime? And I think it's very important to have a very holistic view on fitness, because fitness is far just beyond the physical. And that is what I'm learning, and that is the journey that I'm going through at the moment.
Excellent. So in a typical week, what does your fitness routine look like? Are you training 7 days a week, 3 times a week? Just tell us a little bit.
So, of course, my training regime changes. When I trained for my fitness competitions that I did, that was extremely tense. We would train two times a day, and I would train very specific muscle groups. That is accordance to a bikini competitor. So that was extremely strict, where I would train legs 3 times a week. I would separate glutes in one session, hamstrings in one session, quads in one session. And then I would do shoulders and back in a completely different session. And then we would introduce the cardio, 20 minutes of walking a day. That is obviously extreme and it's not sustainable. And that is when I'm in the middle of my fitness competitions. However, I haven't decided to take a bit of a break from the fitness competitions for now and have a more holistic view to my training. So my split currently at the moment is training 4 times a week. I find that is more a sustainable approach, especially when we're working and, we have a life outside of training. And I think that is also important for other people to draw inspiration from, because sometimes, people don't have a lot of time to spend in the gym to get the body that they want. So 4 times a week is my split.
And what's the duration usually?
So it's an hour. It's an hour. At the morning, at the moment, I'm training in the mornings at 5 o'clock. I never used to be a morning trainer, but I realized if I want to get it done, I have to wake up early and do it. As a chiropractor, my job very physical. So at the end of the day, it doesn't work. So 5 o'clock in the mornings, I'm training, and it's usually an hour. And I'm dividing it between 1 day leg day, shoulders, like push-pull, pretty much. That is my split. My cardio, I try and do 2 outdoor walks a week for roughly an hour. So just walking.
So apart from your 4 sessions a week, because there are 2 cardio
sessions where I'll just go for a walk, obviously to get my step counts in. And then I try and aim to do 1 session of either Pilates or yoga in a week, because I've realized the weight training is making me very stiff and stuck, and I need to work on my mobility and flexibility, because that's just as important. So it will be 4 sessions in a week with the cardio, and then at least 1 session of yoga or Pilates at the moment.
Okay, excellent. And then you usually train inside a gym environment, or do you train at home? Or
so usually gym? Yes, usually it's at the gym. I go to Gold's Gym at the moment. That's where I'm training. But the Pilates, however, is not always at a Pilates studio. Sometimes I'll find a workout online and pull my Pilates mat out and do it at home. And then, of course, the cardio is also not at a gym. It's purely outdoor and in nature.
Okay. And then what's your go-to workout? So say you're traveling now somewhere.
Yeah.
You're traveling Cape Town or maybe overseas or something, what's your go-to workout usually? What do you?
I like a lot of body weighted exercises. That's my go-to because I feel that that is obviously sustainable when traveling. You don't have weights. So I would take some resistance bands, obviously, and then do more of a Pilates-based approach. So a lot of planks, push-ups, obviously your ab workouts.
And then your repetitions then? What?
Usually 3 sets, 15 reps. So that, and then I would do a combination of full body because I think full body is the easiest way to target all your muscle groups when you don't have a lot of time to train. And I would try and then aim for about 40 minutes of a workouts. So that is my go-to.
And then how many exercises? If you had to know, is it eight or 10? Or?
Yeah, so I think if you're doing full body, you want to try and kill two birds with one stone and do like a squat into like a shoulder press, for example.
Yes.
Or
I have seen, now that I now recall, your online videos. I think I've done a lot of the online videos. And I remember a lot of them, I was quite stiff afterwards because it was a combination. Now that you mentioned it was a squat with a shoulder press or squat with a bicep curl or something. And it just burnt a lot more.
Absolutely. So I like to do combinational movements instead of like just one movement or so many times because I feel we then working the muscles as a whole. And I think you get a lot more of an intense workout because now you're combining movements together. And then at the same time, we're giving ourselves a full body workout rather than just one muscle group.
It's a time saver.
Yes, and then also I like to do a lot of then repetitions because I don't have weight. So then I will amp up the repetitions if I don't have any resistance bands or weight training. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So let's delve a little bit into nutrition. Do you think that you can just through your normal general diet get enough protein, or would you say that you need some sort of a supplement? And what stage do you need that supplement or that on-filling into your diet sort of thing like?
So I think it all just depends on what your fitness goal is at that stage and, what is your, what do you aim to get out of the fitness routine that you're doing? So, for example, if you are just training to feel good and healthy, of course you would want your diet to match that and you want to feel your body correctly. We all know you can't just be eating takeaways and things like that. So do you get enough nutrition from the food that you solely eat will all depend on the diet that you're following. Of course, if you're following a very unbalanced, fatty food diet, not really, and you're not really going to see a lot of results or feel good when training. If you are following a more balanced approach, so, you're making sure that you're getting your lean proteins in, such as your chicken, your fish, your lean ostrich mince or extra lean mince, for example, and have a little bit of carbs, then I think you can find a good nutritional value in training. But if you are wanting to up your intensity, now we're training for high rocks, we are actually chasing a goal, for example, we want to lose weight, we want to build muscle, then I believe it is important to now add a additional supplements to that's far more than just what we're eating, and that's when a protein shake, for example, will come into play because you want to obviously get more protein in your diet to be able to build muscle, and then of course your recovery. If we are training quite intensely or we're training 5 days a week, we need to recover, and that's where drinking your BCAAs or your amino acids during training can assist with your recovery. If you're wanting to build muscle, your maltodextrin, so your powdered carbohydrates will come into play as well. So I definitely think extra supplementation is important when chasing a specific fitness goal. But if you are just wanting to train to feel healthy, as long as you're following a balanced diet, I think you'll be fine.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Then question also, do you normally eat before your workouts or after workout?
Sure. So this is difficult. So because I train at 5 o'clock in the morning, I don't eat. I can't fill my stomach with breakfast that time. So at the moment, no, I don't even take a pre-workout anymore that time. I feel like it's just too much that I'm adding in my body. So I train fasted.
So you're
5
hoping that
o'clock.
obviously with the workout now, your body's going to start eating away
Eating the
fat
reserves.
first.
Yes, yeah. So I end up burning more, and I hate training on a full bloated stomach. I don't feel good. So fasted training is what I'm doing at the moment. Where of course before, if I used to train in the afternoons, I would have obviously eaten at least 2 hours before I train. So training on an empty stomach is what I find works best for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
During your workout then, would you normally just drink some water in your workout? Do you drink energy? Have you got some sort of a...
Yes. So this is where I mix my intra workouts. I used to only drink water, but I realized on days where I'm feeling a bit tired or my sleep wasn't good or I haven't maybe been eating correctly the night before, I would struggle with the training, and I felt that I wasn't then fueling my muscles correctly. So then I started adding intra workouts into my training, and I found that has helped a lot. So in my intra workout, I'll have my amino acids or my BCAAs.
So what is intra workout?
So this is the intra workout. So it's a drink, an intra workout. So it's instead of drinking water during your training session, I'm drinking now this mix that I've created and sipping on that during my training session. That's my intra workout, and it consists of obviously like a liter to 700 mils of water. And in that, I will then mix my scoop of amino acids or my BCAAs, which is just basically used to build muscle. Okay. And then I actually mix my creatine in that as well, because as I'm drinking it, my body's absorbing it. So I think the creatine is used a lot more effectively than taking it before a workout when you're not training. And then if I'm in the stage where I want to build a lot of muscle, then I'll mix my maltodextrin, which is a powdered carbohydrates. And that is then what I drink during my training session to help replenish the reserves as I use them.
And then in protein shake or...
Protein shake after. Yes. So usually then I'll have 1 scoop of protein then for my breakfast, because then I'll have my breakfast after gym, which will then include my scoop of whey protein.
And then your protein, do you calculate it? Because I know there's a calculation of 2.5 grams per gram per kilogram of body weight.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. You calculated? Did you do that calculation? Or you just winging it and 1 scoop and there you go?
So that all depends if I'm following a specific diet. Obviously, if I'm following a specific diet for my fitness goals, I then have to have a certain amount of protein, and that is measured accordingly to what I have to have. But based on that, it's usually 1 scoop of protein for my specific body, where of course someone else with a lot more weight behind them can afford to have more. Obviously, you're putting a lot more calories in your body. So for me, it's 1 scoop of protein, and I think the recommended amount generally on the back of the tub is 1 to 2 scoops.
Okay. But you'll have more scoops throughout the day, or just that 1?
So at the moment, it's only 1, but when I'm chasing a specific goal where I have to have a certain amount of protein, I'll usually have 1 scoop then for breakfast, and then before I go to bed, I'll have another scoop. So we're looking at 2 scoops of protein powder a day in addition to the meals and the additional protein that you will eat.
Okay, that's quite interesting. A scoop before bedtime.
Scoop before bed, yes, to replenish your protein reserve.
Yeah, because I know myself, because I just sleep so much better. I take magnesium and lion's mane.
Oh, yes.
So, and it has worked for me phenomenally.
Mm-hmm.
That combination.
Yes, absolutely.
And so is there any other supplements that you take before you go to bed? Or
so definitely the omegas is what I take. Lion's mane is very excellent as well.
Also take before.
I'll also.
So you take it before you go to sleep?
Yes, yeah.
I take it in the morning.
In the morning. So there's such a controversial between, do you take it in the mornings or do you take it when you sleep? Obviously, when you sleep, you're resting, right? You're not
So absorption
absorption
you're better.
is better when you sleep, but there is the stories of, can keep me awake. I've always said, you are going to get research with both, and it all just depends on what you feel is best for yourself. A supplement that I do take religiously when going to bed is your ZMAs, your zinc, magnesium, and aspartate. That is going to help a lot with your recovery. So I take, I think it depends on your size, but 2 to 4 tablets is the recommended dose. And you want to take that before bed because that's where you're going to recover.
Okay.
So it helps a lot with recovery. So you're waking up less stiff. You're waking up, not as tight, so that you can go into your next day feeling like you can train.
Excellent. Now let's delve into your food prepping, your shopping lists.
Yes.
So how do you compile it? What's your thoughts, process? Do you clump something? Do you sit there on Sundays and just meal prep, or how do you work?
So, of course, when I am into my fitness competitions, the food prep is intense and it has to be very specific. So how that would work is on a Sunday, I have my diet, and your diet is pretty much the same throughout. It's chicken and rice for lunch. It's mince and rice for dinner. You have your green vegetables, and if not rice, it's either butternut or sweet potato. And a morning, it's just your a shake that consists of your protein powder, oats, and blueberries, and your almond nut butter. And that is what you eat for three months or so. So to prepare for that, I just buy my chicken, my mince in bulk. And I usually will then cook for the next 3 days. So I'll spend on a Sunday, I'll cook the chicken, cook the mince, cook the rice, make sure it lasts for 3 days. After the 3rd day, then I remake my meal for then the next 3 days. So, of course, you have cheat meals in between, and that I will then just take on the day. But that's how I prepped for my fitness comps. Now that I'm not doing fitness comps at the moment, my prep looks a little bit different. So I still like to follow my balance between my proteins and my fats. So usually I will still cook for 3 days chicken and rice. I do mix it up a little bit. I like to add a bit of sauce now, some sweet chili, some spice, and then dinner I'm a lot more flexible. So my dinner usually is 2 nights. I'll eat the same food, which will either be mince and your whole wheat wraps that are toast, or it will be my steak, my fillets that I'll then have with sweet potatoes or sweet potato fries. So I try and change it up, still so that it tastes nice. But still diving in a little bit of
any sauce that you put on it.
Yeah, so with my chicken, Nando's lemon and herb sauce. Obviously I put my spices on. Sometimes I'll make myself a bit of like a buttered chicken, because I'm not following a specific like calorie per se now that I'm not doing my fitness comps. And then obviously like a stir fry sauces. So I play around a lot more now that I'm not doing the comps. But for dinner, it's again the meat, and I obviously wouldn't have any sauce with that, sweet potato fries. So I still like to keep it clean. Like with my mince, I can't throw too many sauces in because that's all the calories. So I like to more use dry spices to make the flavoring, which helps a lot.
Excellent. How important is rest and recovery in your fitness philosophy?
I think rest and recovery is probably one of the most important factors. I think if you're not resting and recovering as you should, you actually will end up wasting away, and you will get a lot of injuries, and you will actually do yourself a big detriment and harm. I think just as much as you prioritize in getting to the gym and training, so you need to prioritize your sleep. And I don't know if other people can relate to this, but sometimes if I only have like 4 hours of sleep a night, or 5 hours, and then I'll wake up the next day, I'm very watery at the gym. Your body's holding a lot of water retention.
So if you haven't slept at night,
you feel
bloated.
you feel bloated, you look bloated, you're not looking as lean because your muscles holding onto a lot of water. And that is one indication that you can check if someone's at the gym or you yourself, you're looking watery. It's because you haven't slept enough and you haven't got an adequate amount of sleep.
Well, that can just be normal fat.
It could be. I mean, you know yourself. But yeah, so you have to rest, because if you're not resting, number one, your body's not recovering. It's not replenishing all the reserves that it needs to. And that is when people get injured more, people get burnt out. They're not building muscle, they're actually breaking muscle down. And so if you are not prioritizing your recovery in terms of even doing Epsom salts bath, stretching, taking supplements to help you recover, you're just going to drive your body in a stage where it just cannot train or function optimally. And that is when injury happens. That is when you get sick. That's when your immune system gets lower down. So if you are not prioritizing your sleep and recovery, you're gonna run into an issue. Yeah.
Yeah, like obviously with your background with the dancing, you're now talking about Epsom salts and stuff. Whilst everybody else is ice bath.
So
thing.
I like to think muscles love heat. So when we're feeling very stiff and sore, I like to immerse myself in Epsom salts, lots of heat to obviously help with that recovery. Ice baths have a very important place as well. And to me, ice baths need to be done directly after a intense workout. To me, there's no point in doing an ice bath where I'm trying to recover for a day and I'm just going to soak myself in. For me, it has to be done like after a workout. I think you're going to derive a lot more benefit from that.
That makes sense. Excellent. So we've delved down into the rest recovery. So you're saying how many? 6 hours, 8 hours?
Yeah, 6 is a minimum. So 6 or more. I think if you're going 6 and under hours of sleep, you're going to run into an issue. So at least minimum 6 hours of sleep. 7 is, I think, the sweet spot for most people. 8 is just now bragging. That's
okay.
That you had a good night rest.
Yeah, that you don't have to go to work.
Yes, pretty much.
Something like
that. Yes, yeah.
Okay, so we've delved into the rest and recovery. Now mental wellness. So what role does mental wellness play in staying fit and healthy for you?
I actually think mental wellness is probably one of the most important factors beyond physical fitness. I think if your mental health is not where it should be, everything falls apart. It doesn't matter if you look the part and if you look like you're fit and you've got the definition and you're following your diet. If your mental health is not there, all of that means nothing. It's just noise. And that is the journey that I'm on at the moment, and I like to call it from my strength to stillness. That's the stage where I'm at, where I've always embodied the strength of being fit, being in the gym, making sure I'm fueling my body correctly. I mean, I've been a big advocate for that for a long time. But at the moment, I'm finding myself in a space where I'm trying to transition from strength to stillness, where I spend time with myself and my thoughts and working on my mental health. Meditating has become a recent thing for me, and I do it after I train in the mornings. And I have found such a beneficial aspect because my mind is now fueling my body positive things, and my body, I'm feeling, is feeding off of that. And I've spoken about the mind-body connection loop in one of my webinars. And so at the moment, mental health is probably paying the most key ingredient at the moment to my fitness journey. And so if you prioritize your mental health and you get your mindset for the intention for the day, you're actually fueling your body with feelings of gratitude, feelings of love, feelings of I can do this, confidence. And the more you're fueling that, the more your body feels it, the happier you are. And the happier you are, the more productive you are, the better you do things and the more you want to do things. And I found that when I wasn't working on my mental health and I was only working on my chasing my fitness goals, getting to the gym, training for the duration that I do, getting my steps in.
You'd be a lot more obsessive in terms of
Yes.
just what your body looked like.
Just what my body looked like. And that's a dangerous place to be, because then you're attaching your identity with how you look and the brands that you work with and how you feel based on the feedback of everyone is giving you. You look good. But now I wasn't working on my mental health. So now when you don't look good, when you don't perform, when you're not working with maybe specific brands anymore, you've now lost a part of your identity, and now you're going through an identity crisis. And now it's more about focusing on finding your identity that's not attached to that. So regardless of all of those external things, you still feel confident and whole within yourself. And that for me is a sweet spot, because then it doesn't matter the opinions that people have about you on how you look. You could have gone through a bad week and not train. You will still feel good about yourself. And so that's the journey that I'm on with mental health. And I think it's probably the most important factor.
That's beautiful.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
That's excellent. Obviously, because obviously you're under the limelight. You've got a lot of scrutiny, a lot of people looking at you, negative comments, all those things.
Yes.
And it's easy to fall into the trap of obviously then breaking yourself down also. But as you say, you need to try and detach and focus on how you feel and your mental well-being.
Absolutely. And I think as a chiropractor, we taught that realignment is just focused on muscle and physical and joints. But, I like to think that realignment is more than physical. It's emotional and mental. And to be aligned doesn't just mean physically, it's being aligned as an entire individual, and that is going to include your emotional and mental aspect as well. So yeah.
No, definitely. So, have you got any up-and-coming projects or goals you're excited about, or anything that you want to focus on currently?
So at the moment, because I am going through this whole from strength to stillness aspect, I've decided for now I'm not going to do any fitness competitions. I'm focusing on becoming fit mentally and physically in a way that's sustainable. So at the moment, there's no specific goal. I think the goal is more pertaining to a personal goal, and that is to find purpose through how I can use my education around mental fitness, physical fitness, and chiropractic to educate and inspire others. And I plan to do that through, using my social media platform, as well as doing talks such as this, educational webinars, and obviously my chiropractic practice. Of course, I've got 2 chiropractic practices, so my goal is also just to focus on building that for now, and then
I think you've got a nice place already.
Yes.
The fitness side of things.
Yes. And then just open to any opportunities that come my way. Yes.
Okay, excellent. Okay, I'm going to quickly just delve into the nutritional side here again. Do you have any nutritional tricks or tips do you maybe want to share or something? Obviously, no trade secrets or anything like that, but just I know we're going back now to the nutritional side, but is there anything that you would suggest to maybe someone that's starting sort of thing on the nutritional side of things maybe?
Yeah, so I think the goal is, there's a lot of calories in foods that don't make you feel full. So I think the goal is to really try and find foods that have quite very little calories that you can eat a lot of, so that you can actually be full. So if you are going,
as long as veggies or fish.
it's the not so nice ones, but for example, if let's say you want to have a wrap, all right. Now, some wraps are actually very unhealthy because the tortilla wraps that you find are actually quite full with a lot of calories. So Pick n Pay, and here's a little trade secret, Pick n Pay has got these whole wheat wraps that pretty much have 0 calories in them. So you can eat 3 wraps versus 1 whole wrap from Checkers, for example. So my goal is to educate people to say find and fuel your body with foods that don't have a lot of calories in, that you can eat a lot of. So the wraps is an awesome one. And then also,
so you can eat a bag of popcorn, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. So for example, like you'll see like you can have this popcorn, right, that contains this amount of calories, or you can rather fuel your body and have like this much of calories and eat more of it, for example. And then also just your lean meats, never steer away from them. That's your chicken, your fish, and your extra lean protein.
I had a neighbor, she ate a lot of fish, a lot of fish. And she was deep in her 70s. I think everyday fish. So what would you lean more towards? Are you leaning more towards the chicken side, more the fish side?
I'm not the best lover of fish, so I'm definitely leaning more towards chicken. Definitely chicken, but don't get me wrong. Salmon, very good, just very expensive. And funny enough, pilchards. Pilchards is a it's a lean fish, but it's got so much fish oil that is so good for you. But of course, no one's going to be eating pilchards on a very daily basis. But yeah, I just think it depends on your fitness goal. But definitely just wholesome, light foods that is not too heavy and dense on the stomach, and foods that are very clean and lean and that can fill you, that doesn't contain a lot of calories, because then you can eat more of it. Yes.
Okay, excellent. I guess, and on the fitness, so we've not, if you're starting off now, new, want to lose weight, the nutritional side, we've spoken about that. The fitness side, when someone wants to now start the fitness journey, where must they start? Must they buy dumbbells? Start with that training at home? Must they join a gym? What's the first step basically?
So a lot of people do find starting very intimidated, especially if you haven't really trained and now you want to walk into a gym. You don't even know where to start, what to do. And that is quite a common question, and I get asked a lot. And I think first and foremost is you need to set your goal and intention straight. What am I trying to aim out of this? Because that will then determine the route that you take. Is your goal to just tone up? Is it to lose weight? Is it to feel healthy? Um, are you doing it because you in a lot of pain? And that will kind of then determine type of what exercises that you do. If you are someone that's in pain and you've got arthritis and you were told to exercise and move, your weight trainings and any weight bearing exercises are going to be quite painful for that type of condition, and you want to then rather focus on doing resistance type of trainings, aerobics in the water, cycling, things like that doesn't put a lot of pressure on you. You're not going to
non-weight
bearing exercises for those that are suffering from a lot of knee pain, arthritis, and then resistance type of training. So TheraBand work, things like that. If you are trying to tone up, of course, your weight training is going to be beneficial for you, and even type of things like a yoga and a Pilates will also be beneficial. If you're trying to lose weight, you're going to have a combination of cardio and weight training. Cardio alone is not enough to lose weight. Muscles burn a lot more. Weight training burns a lot more calories than pure cardio, funny enough. So to find that balance. So my goal would be, number one, either reach out to someone that you feel that can help you, like a trainer or someone that's more experienced, to give you a good direction on where to start. Sometimes trainers are very beneficial because they keep us accountable, and we also then not feeling too intimidated when walking in a gym and now we don't know where to go. So you cannot walk in a gym without a good direction, and that direction either comes from talking to someone who knows what they're doing and giving you advice on the correct exercises to do, or having a trainer that's qualified, that can help you with your specific goals. Then you will then get a little bit more familiar with the type of workouts, the form, how to train, the positioning of your feet and body in certain movements, and automatically with that confidence, you will then slowly be able to say, okay, well, I've got more knowledge on it. I can maybe slowly start to steer away from a trainer and start to feel that I can do this more independently. So definitely having someone there help you in the beginning of your journey, I think, is a very key factor in making it not feel overwhelming, and also having a good sense of accountability.
Yeah, as you say, you need to define that goal.
Your
You know,
intention.
your why.
Yes,
Your why.
exactly.
Why are you basically doing it?
Why are you doing it and what do you want to gain out of it? Because that will then just determine which direction you go and how intense and yeah.
And and obviously if you've got someone there to guide you, so they don't start off too much too soon, because that always scares you off.
It's then too overwhelming because you're trying to bite off the whole elephant and it's a little step at a time, you know. So outlining your clear identified goals as to why you want to start, what you're trying to aim out of it will then determine the steps to take forward. The thing is it can feel very overwhelming, and by having someone there, it just eliminates that feeling.
Okay, no, excellent. Now, obviously, with your fitness and all your modeling and all of that you've done prior, you've inspired many through your competitions and your Biogen Face of Fitness. How do you stay motivated?
Sure. This one is a difficult one because, you know, you're not always going to have motivation. And that is why I think it's always important to stay true to yourself. When I don't always have motivation, I rely on my discipline a lot. And that discipline obviously has developed through years of trying to reach goals, through training and things like that, through doing my fitness competitions. But how I try and stay motivated is always remembering why I'm doing what I'm doing. And that reason does change from time to time, depending on the phase of life that I'm going through, whether it's because you want to lose weight, whether it's because you've had an incident and you never want to feel like that again or look like that again. Always remembering why you're doing it. And currently at the moment for me is I am so focused on changing myself and growing myself and developing myself that I don't want to remain stagnant. And you don't change unless you're challenged. And so I try and challenge myself to continuously improve because I don't want to feel the same feelings of I'm not good enough or I don't look a certain way. And very easily we can fall into a victim mentality. And so I always, on the days where I don't feel like doing it, I always try to remember why I'm doing it. And don't get me wrong, it's important to listen to yourself. If you're not feeling motivated because you're tired or fatigued, you need to take those into consideration as to maybe implementing steps. So also why are you not motivated is the thing. But if you just don't feel like doing it, remember why. And if you just push through it every day, eventually you'll get over that slump. And then you will feel so proud of yourself that you never gave up. And that will then motivate you to keep going.
Excellent.
Yes.
Okay, then just in closing, any final words to our Bestmed listeners out there? Any final advice do you want to maybe give them?
Yeah, well, always stay true to yourself and always listen to your body. Your body never lies to you, neither does your mind. If you are starting on your fitness journey, don't feel intimidated or overwhelmed, and also don't look at unrealistic goals and expectations. There is a lot of things out there that aren't real, and people look the way that they look because of years of training and also the use of other enhancements, right? And so never look at someone that looks amazing and think, how come I'm not there? Because most of the time it's not realistic and unsustainable. So have a realistic and sustainable goal and start small. Start small, make micro changes, and over a period of time, those micro changes will change to bigger changes. And that way you can have a more sustainable approach to fitness and prioritize your mental health. Mental health is just as important, and all of that means nothing if you are not spending time with your thoughts and what you're feeding yourself, and always have a balanced approach to lifestyle. So those are my words, and I hope that they took something very beneficial from this, even if it's one thing to implement in their life. And yeah, I'm always up to educate, inspire, and share my knowledge as much as I can. So yeah, thank you, of course, for this opportunity, and I really hope someone took something home from this.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think we've had a lot of valuable information
Yes.
in this podcast, and yeah, looking forward to the next podcast.
Amazing.
See you in the future
Yes.
again.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.